Okay, well, you gave me a good idea. Life and Times here in Yuma. Okay, I got here about 9 years ago, and when I first got here, I was only getting like $500 a month, so I was kind of limited on funds. So I did the normal thing, you know. I went down to the mission thinking that the mission would be like a regular homeless mission. Well, to my surprise, it isn't. The only people that are down there at this mission are your 100% homeless people that all they want to do is drink beer and do drugs and steal from one another. Then I spent 24 hours there and I got out of there. I spent a few days down at the river, eating at the gas station with my debit card. And then I found out that the place I was staying at, I could be harassed by 3 different law enforcement people. The sheriffs, the local copy-wappies, and the border patrol. So I started looking, and I came to this little complex that's right up the street from the mission, and I met a man by the name of Carter. Well, Carter told me that, you know, if I got the money for the rent, he'd let me slide on the deposit until next month. And we talked about that, and he goes, well, I'll just do the deposit for 2 months. Okay, that'll work. Well, about 3 days later, he asked me if I wanted to be the manager, and that he was selling the place. And I said, okay, I'll be the manager until you sell it. Well, that was 9 years ago. At that time, Carter was married. And during that time, let's see, we had a problem with the sewer. It kept backing up. So Carter got me one of these rotor-rooter things that I had to rotor-rooter the sewer in order to keep the toilets working, especially on my side, because it goes on my side, over to the other side, and then down into the city line. Well, we had this engine, father and son team. They'd go up to the gas station. One guy would distract the guy working at the gas station, and the other guy would steal a case of beer and bring it down here and drink it down just outside of room number 6 and share it with their baboon friend that lived in number 6. And one day the cop showed up here because they were reported, and the cops automatically came here. Well, by the time the cops got here, the beer was gone. You know, when you're a baboon, you guzzle beer like, you know, well, let's just say that those 24 cans dealing with those 3 guys lasted about 15 minutes. You know, and they're drunk, you know, and they're slurring to the cop, and, you know, there's no box, because they already got rid of the box, and the beer cans are gone, so, you know, all you got is 3 drunks. So the cops couldn't do nothing. But isn't it funny that the cops automatically came here? Well, we had one guy on the other side. His door got broken into, and according to this lady that lived a couple houses down, she knew the people, and they were baboons, another husband-wife team, and they were both Indians. So anyways, she told me that they eat supper down at the mission. So her and I went down to the mission during supper. Walked back there where the baboons were all eating. Sure enough, they were eating. So her and I went outside. I called the cops. Cops came, and her and I talked to the cops. And as the people left, now the girl came out first. And the woman that was with me pointed to that girl. That's the one that did the damage up there at that apartment. So the cop went over, asked for an ID. Well, I found out later that there's two sets of IDs. One is American ID, and the other one is Indian ID, with your Indian name on it. And she wouldn't confess that her name was Jennifer. It was Pocahontas or some crap. And that's what her ID said, Pocahontas. You know? So the cops couldn't arrest her because her name didn't match, you know, her ID didn't match her name. So the cops couldn't do nothing. Now the man came out. And naturally the woman pointed out the man. Well, lo and behold, the man made a mistake. He had both IDs, both American and his Indian. Well, they put handcuffs on him, made a scene. There was about 20, 25 people down there raising hell that I created this thing. The manager and the assistant manager of Baboon Palace came up to me and informed me that this is the 4th time that I've done this. Yeah. I tell you what, you keep your baboons down here and tell them to leave my place alone up there. And I won't hassle you, and you don't have to hassle me. Well, apparently they went down to see a judge with my name and had me barred from going to the mission. Well, the cops told me about it, and naturally the judge didn't do it because there wasn't enough evidence, because I didn't create any trouble down there except taking care of business, dealing with people that do destruction on this property. And seeing I'm the manager, I should be allowed to do that. So, Baboon Palace, I just put that off limits for me. And I already told you about that guy with the knife that tried to come in here looking like Ponce de Leon robbing a bank back in the cowboy days. And I'm not even allowed to look at his picture because prisoners have rights. Well, this is the story of what's going on now. The owner of the place is putting about $1,000 in every one of these apartments. He's also paying a $1,000 water bill. Now the water bill is supposed to be about $400. But somebody's turning on the water. So the boss has to come over here at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's the city put a computer chip on the water line and gave me I got it here somewhere. And gave me this form. See all the blue lines? Well, these up here is about 350 gallons an hour. Because some baboon just decided to turn on his water faucet and let it run all night. So they're trying to figure out which one of the inmates is doing that to create a $1,000 water bill. Except he only does it during the week. Weekends, it's way down to, you know, the normal nothing. And, well anyways, he put all this money in. He told me that, seeing we got a lock and a good door on the laundry room, that I should open up the laundry room from 9 to 5. so the inmates can do their laundry from 9 to 5. And I told Bill, I said, that's not a good idea because it's going to be vandalized. Trust me. Well, Bill told me to do it anyways. So I did it. Second day of opening up the laundry room 9 to 5. Some baboon went in there and cut all the wires to the washers and dryers. You know, the electrical wire. So he can turn them in and get probably, maybe 12 cents a wire. So he can buy drugs. Let's see, 4 cents, 12 cents a wire. I probably got about $1 for those 4 wires. Well, it cost the boss $225 to get them replaced. Isn't that neat? Of course, he told me that he wants me to do my idea. You know, have the inmates come to me and get the key. And I remind the inmates not to leave the laundry room open, because these people will actually go in the wash machine while your clothes are being washed and steal your underwear, especially the women. Yeah, I've had so many complaints about women's underwear being stolen from the wash machine. Not from the dryer, from the wash machine. I guess they like them wet and soaky. Anyway, tonight's episode, there she is right there, sleeping away. I told her, just before I did this thing, that she's never going to get that key again. Because she doesn't live here, but she's got a couple friends here that she helps out and does their laundry, and she keeps the laundry room nice and clean, and you know, at one time I trusted her, but tonight she broke that trust. Felicia is, I can't even think of the Indian's name that lives in 12, but it's her cousin. Felicia is the girl that, well, her and I, when we first met, we were friends. I trusted her. In fact, I even put her on my Wi-Fi. Yeah, I put in my secret code for that Wi-Fi, and she was on Wi-Fi. She ate here a few times. And then this Indian by White Cloud came in. The boss ended up taking him to court because White Cloud gave me his word that his rent was due on the 8th and he'd be out on the 8th. Well, the 8th came. Morning of the 9th, I knocked on the door. Apparently White Cloud's girlfriend answered the door and just literally jumped in the middle of my shit. Well, I've seen White Cloud later on today. He told me that he's taking his girlfriend's advice and staying there until he's court ordered to leave. Well, I let that so-called Indian, Dylan or White Cloud, whatever you want to call him, that he is not a man. He gave me his word that he'd be out the day that his rent was due. He lied to me. He's not a man. He's a piece of trash. Well, the boss ended up taking him to court. It took about a month and a half. And cops came and they left. Well, his girlfriend comes up and she wants to rent here. And I said, okay. And I understand you and Dylan had parted ways. You finally smartened up and got rid of the trash. Yep, sure did. Okay. I'll rent here, but I'll tell you what. You are going to put in writing that if that Indian shows up here on the property, you are out of here that day. Now, if you're willing to put that in writing, I'm willing to take your money and put you in here. But if that son of a bitch comes on this property, you're out of here that day. And it will be in your writing, your signature. I'll have witnesses. And a cop will be a witness. Now, to make myself clear, guess who did not come back? She said she was going to the bank and get the money. She didn't come back. Well, Bill comes up to me a few days later and says that good old White Cloud beat the shit out of the girl so bad that the girl died. And it was in the newspapers. And I went, hey, no problem with me. I told her, you know, he's nothing but trash. Trash is going to do that. You know, no big deal. Well, all of a sudden, Felicia is tied up with this White Cloud character. Now, I was told by Bill that he's court ordered not to be on the property, and I'm supposed to call the cops every time he comes on the property. Well, guess what? The judge failed to do his job. He did not serve Dylan with the paperwork that banned him from this place. And I called the cops like 3 times. Finally, the cop here, about 2 weeks ago, last time I called for this asshole coming on the property, cop came up to me and said that there's no record of it. Therefore, White Cloud's allowed on the property. Oh, that's neat. Well, White Cloud was coming on the property with this Felicia character, and ever since White Cloud apparently killed the girlfriend, he tied up with Felicia, and all of a sudden I'm the worst white man in the world, because Felicia's doing nothing but chastising me and swearing at me and calling me every name in the book. So anyways, you know, whatever. But anyways, tonight, this girl comes up, and Elizabeth here was the last one to have the key to the laundry. She knows what the rules are. She's always locked it before. But all of a sudden, this girl comes up about, I don't know, 1 o'clock this evening, and tells me that the keys are outside. Huh? Now, that's hard to swallow, because when I laid down at 11, they were on top of the book thing. But then again, Elizabeth came in here too and got a soda. I got an idea Elizabeth got the keys when she bought her soda and opened up the laundry room for Felicia can go to sleep. Because when the girl told me that she was just bringing in the laundry room key, I went, huh? Well, I get up, I grab the laundry room key, I go down there to the laundry. The laundry room's wide open. Felicia is sleeping on the top of the counter. So I woke her up and told her to get the hell out. Now she started calling me every name in the book. I told her, I don't care. Out! Well, she got out. And then she said that the blanket belongs to Elizabeth. I don't care. I picked up the blanket and threw it at her. And she started cussing at me for throwing the blanket at her. Hey! You know? I'll take that blanket and throw it in the trash can for all I care. Because I do that. You know? I've thrown away so much. We had this one girl. Oh man, I tried to help. I put her stuff in storage. There was about 6 boxes. With the understanding that, well, this happened way back with Carter, was my boss. She had about 5 boxes of, you know, personal stuff. And And she's just looking for a place to live. Well, a couple months later, I seen her and I told her, I said, hey, you're going to get me in trouble with that. You got until Sunday, or I'll take care of it. You're to go in the trash can. Well, Sunday came around. I got a hold of Greg in 19. This was before that Greg episode, you know, with the bandana guy. So Greg and I went to the storage, took out the 5 boxes. Greg took some of the stuff that he wanted and gave me a hand taking the rest out there and putting it in the garbage. And while we're putting it in the garbage, we're making sure that nobody's going to go into the garbage and get it. Because I had a knife and I'm cutting up blue jeans and cutting up, I probably cut up, maybe about 30 pairs of articles of clothing, good shirts, good pants. I just shredded them. The electrical stuff, cut the wires and mangled up the computer stuff inside them. You know, just destroyed everything before we put it in the trash can. Well, she shows up, I think it was Wednesday, noticed a couple things in Greg's apartment that was his. So she comes to me and asked about her stuff. I told her what I did. And she blew a gasket. And I said, oh, let's take a walk. So we went over to Greg's. And Greg told her, hey, he told you he was going to do it in 10 days. He also told you he was going to do it in 3 days. And he also told you Saturday he was going to do it tomorrow. Well, him and I did it the very next day. You had 3 or 4 warnings. You could have gotten your stuff out of here. So that's what I mean by having life and times here in Yuma. I'm waiting to see what kind of adventure I'm going to have tomorrow. So, anyway, Bill, I hope you enjoy this, because here in about a half hour, I'm going to the casino. Yep. I won $735 a couple days ago, and I'm going to go spend about 50 of it. Maybe I'll win another 700. I doubt it. They'll take all that back, and then they'll give me another 700. Anyhow, we'll see what happens. Anyway, have a good day, and God bless. This will be posted in, about a half hour. I told you it'd be about an hour, Lil. Yep. Hope you enjoy it. And I love Yuma. Love the weather. The weather here in Yuma is perfect for me. But one thing about what's going on here now, I'm tired. I'm tired of putting up with the worthless pieces of trash that I have to. These people do not want to improve themselves. All they want to do is steal from one another, do drugs, get drunk, and steal from one another. That's all they do. They get all the food they want, because food here in Yuma is free. And the Yuma weather is so beautiful that you can stay outside 24/7, because it only rains. Well, when it does rain here, you know, hey, that's their one shower a year that they need. So, anyway, peace and good times. But when I get fed up here, I think I'm going to go down to St. Carlos and have to pay rent instead of having it free. Anyway, have a good Monday. No, Tuesday. Bye.